Ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the delay. I am here with Notre Dame's massive recruiting visitor list. I'm going to break it down. Got about a dozen guys on here, offense, defense, even a 2022 kid that's not currently committed to Notre Dame. This is a very, very important weekend and also just exciting weekend to be a Notre Dame fan. Top 10 matchup in the Bend. Coming to you today. I'm making this video just past midnight here at Central Time on Saturday, October 2nd. We'll start with the 2022 Kidwalker Howard. You're watching his highlights right now. He's committed to Louisiana State University, committed last June. Father played ball there in the early 90s. Notre Dame should not be able to get this kid on campus yet. His relationship with Tommy Rees, and he has at least some interest, and he's coming up to South Bend. Do I want to put this kid on commit watch, flip watch? No, not at all. It's going to take at least one more visit, probably an official. If he likes his visit today, get him up for an official for the USC game, work some magic. Then we can talk about flip watch. But as of right now, he's coming to South Bend. Tommy Rees, Brian Kelly will do whatever they can to get that official. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You still have Steve Angeli, but Tommy Rees and company, would it shock me if they take a second quarterback? No. Do I think they end up with one quarterback in the class? Yes. But, hey, Cohen's gone after this year. Brennan Clark probably medically redshirts or transfers out. That's two guys gone. Ron Powis. No offense to Ron, but I don't know where that's going to go. Probably just stays here for his 4 years and grad transfers to a smaller school to get some good playing time, and get his Notre Dame degree. An emergency backup there. Tyler Buckner and Drew Pine will be the two guys next year, and Angeli will just be starting that role. So you have 3-4 scholarship guys. You would like a fifth if Clark and Cohen do leave. Now, do I love that Notre Dame took Paulus last year? No, but honestly, scholarship number-wise, it's not the end of the world. We'll see what happens. Let's head to the 2023 quarterback that will be on campus. That's Dante Moore from Michigan. Dante Moore, an exciting player, has lit it up so far in his junior year. I honestly think he is the second or third best quarterback in this 2023 class. In my opinion, it's Arch Manning number 1, Dante Moore number 2, Nico number 3. That's just my take on the situation, though. He what was at Penn State for the whiteout game, was at Michigan State last weekend, Michigan for the Washington game, and he wanted to see South Bend one more time. No commit timetable right now. We'll see what happens, but I think with a good visit, Notre Dame is the leader after this weekend. That's personally how I feel. Quickly, 2022 commits that will be on campus. Jalen Sneed, linebacker from South Carolina. All these guys are locked in, by the way, at least in my opinion. We'll see. Things have happened, but things like this have happened where kids decommit, but I'm very, very confident all these kids end up in this class. Joey Tenona, Ashton Craig, Nolan Ziegler, and Joshua Burnham. I'd expect to see Ziegler at probably at least the USC game for his official and then another game as well. He decided to use his official for the USC weekend to recruit more guys. Same with Burnham. Craig doesn't live too far. I could see him. And Tenona was already here for the Purdue game. I bet he'll just a day or two before the game to say, hey, I'm just going to come. Don't have anything on my Saturday. Why not? Come see South Bend for a game. Sam Mpemba will go back to the defensive side of the ball in this 2023 class from IMG Academy. Was at Florida for the Bama game in September. Really love the Swamp, but I honestly think Notre Dame is the front runner here. This is not, I want to say, the media standard at this point from Mpemba's recruitment. It's been quiet. He visited family in Africa over the summer. Didn't get to visit any schools. Really enjoyed that experience, but these fall visits are going to be huge. He could go back to Africa next summer, not see any schools, could take his officials in the fall, could already be committed by then. I honestly have no clue. But from when I interviewed Mpemba in February of this year, Notre Dame fit just every single box. He's a very religious kid. That's something people don't understand from the outside looking in. And he really understood that Notre Dame was the only school that could offer him religion on top of academic excellence and football at the high level Notre Dame plays at. So I really think Notre Dame is right up there in the top group for Pemba, if not the leader. And maybe after this weekend, more people will think that as well. Sonny Styles is next. Styles is just a certified stud, ranked number 3 overall on the newly released On3 2023 rankings. Sonny Styles is, if Notre Dame were to land him, he would probably be the best recruit Brian Kelly would have ever landed. I don't want to say Jalen Smith was so special, but wow, Sonny Styles is just a once-in-a-lifetime type talent. That's all I have to say. Sonny Styles is a freak. If he's not a top 5 player in the country, by the time he signs, I would be in shock. We'll go to Drake Bowen next, another stud, 5-star linebacker from Andrean High School in Maryville, Indiana. This one looks like Notre Dame's to lose. Like Clemson, they're having a shaky year. Like LSU, they're having a shaky year. Indiana's lurking, but I don't think they're going to be in the picture. Auburn, not really there. I think this one's going to be wrapped up sooner rather than later. I'm expecting probably before December or even mid-November, Thanksgiving, we could call it. I'd like Bowen to end up at Notre Dame, and I think this weekend just cements that for him and his family. He will also be on campus for the North Carolina and USC games later this month. We'll head to the defensive tackle position, Luke Montgomery. Interesting note on Montgomery. Notre Dame is the only school recruiting as a defensive lineman at this point. I think pretty much every other school is recruiting him as an offensive lineman. So Notre Dame switching it up, but they do tell him he will be welcomed as an offensive lineman as well. But boy, Montgomery's a stud. Played middle school basketball with Bronny James, Ronnie Gallagher, 2023 wide receiver target out of Pittsburgh. Luke Montgomery just has all the traits to become a first or second day NFL draft pick. Monstrous size, pretty good work. I shouldn't say pretty good, very good work ethic. He puts in the time on and off the field. This is a Notre Dame type kid. Mike Elson has bonded with him. We'll see what happens. Right now, I think Ohio State's the leader, but he will be on campus as well for the USC game with his whole family, and that could really be the difference maker. This visit as well, don't get me wrong, this visit as well. Let's head to a guy that a lot of Notre Dame fans haven't been talking enough about, and that's Malik Mohammed from Texas. Transferred actually back to Texas from IMG Academy. Said he did what he needed to do in Bradenton, Florida at IMG, and he wanted to transfer back home and play high school ball with his brothers. He's a stud. Malik Mohammed is top 50 player nationally. Brother played D1 ball at Oklahoma State on scholarship. I believe quit the team or graduated at Oklahoma State. Not really sure there, but his brother will be with him in South Bend this weekend, I believe, with one of his parents as well. Mohammed is expected to be at Notre Dame 3 times this month. Cincinnati game, USC game on the 23rd, and then the North Carolina game on the 30th. Those 3 weekends are this weekend, the USC weekend, and the North Carolina weekend are the 3 main visitor weekends for Notre Dame. Probably USC being the biggest, but it's hard to imagine this group not being the biggest. North Carolina will be big, probably not as big. We shall see, though. But Mohammed, it's a freak. Would probably be the best cornerback Brian Kelly signs. Would like to see him bulk up a little bit. Sure, he's a cornerback. Love to see a little bit more muscle, maybe grow an inch, but you turn on the tape and he's a freak. He's a very, very solid player. We'll head next. I'm going a little bit slow. I'm sorry, guys, to the 2 wide receivers that will be making it in town, Jalen Brown and Carnell Tate. Carnell Tate is from IMG Academy, of course, used to play at Marist in Chicago. Ohio State and Notre Dame seem to be the front 2 there. I think Ohio State is trailing now. I think Notre Dame leads in this recruitment. We'll see what happens. But I could honestly see this weekend going a long ways, putting Notre Dame right in the front on the right track to landing Tate's commitment. Whenever that will be, he doesn't have a set time. He will be at Ohio State next weekend for I believe it's the Maryland game, and then he will also try to be back in South Bend for another game. Not sure. Could that be USC, UNC, Georgia Tech, Navy? I don't really know. But Tate's definitely got to watch out for. And then Jaylen Brown to finish it off. I want to make a late note. Jaylen Brown will not be in South Bend this weekend. Had to scratch. It was going to be his homecoming weekend, according to Gulliver Prep. Maybe something happened with that. Something happened outside of that. I don't think his interest, though, has fallen off in the last few days. This trip was just scheduled a few days ago. Everything was locked in. I expect him to get on campus. Honestly, if he gets back for the USC game, is this really a big deal? Not really. I expected him to only come up 0 or once this fall. So just getting him up once is a big step. He's good buddies with Cedric Irvin, who committed just last Wednesday to Notre Dame. And I think, honestly, Notre Dame and Michigan are the top 2 teams of this recruitment. Florida State's probably there as well, but we don't really know what's happening there. So, honestly, I think Notre Dame and Michigan are 1 and 2 in this recruitment. I think they've cemented themselves as a leader, and I think we know who's going to keep winning these games, these big games, and which program is the more dominant program right now. Yes, I don't need to say that's Notre Dame, so I think that will go a long way. If I had to put in a pick, I'd put it in for the Irish, not at high confidence at all, but I think I'm leading the Irish here. That's the video, guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. I will have more videos in the future.